Hello and welcome to Khyber Shards, where I didn't come up with a third little funny tag to add to my introduction. I am your dungeon master, Philip.
I'm Eric, playing Unadavari Smith.
I am Colin playing Wog.
I'm RA. I'm playing Esri no Shiran.
And I'm Casey, and I'm playing Shade.
Okay, so last time our characters got some pretty startling news that the century-long War of Succession that has torn apart the land where they live has come to an end, or at least is in a ceasefire. And they were being transferred to another portion of the program that they are a part of for young people with aberrant marks. And on the course of their walk, things became tense, shall we say. A couple of heroes of the program, Thora Tavine and Dane, appeared, as did some armed guards following our heroes as they were led by their very trusted teacher. And then things kicked off unexpectedly because Shade panicked and launched some guards across the room. There was a brief combat, and now the characters have found themselves running for, as far as they know, their lives, led by Dane, who insists that they've got to escape. They have managed to escape to a hangar in the giant floating citadel of the 12, high above the city of Korth, and have found themselves faced with a troop of guards here to secure the hangar. So we need to roll initiative.
Woo!
And before we do that, can someone teach me how to roll initiative?
Sure.
What am I rolling and what numbers on my
Nope.
in my factor? Hey, thanks, man.
Yes.
Whew, boy, am I glad you're not in charge of this one.
All right. So on your character sheet, you should have an initiative modifier marked kind of near the top with a modifier. And you want to roll a d20, the big almost round one, and add whatever the die says to your initiative modifier. And that will determine the order in which we're going to go. So, Ari, what's your initiative?
15.
All right. Wog?
9.
Esri?
7.
And Shade?
The even more impressive 5.
Yeah.
Why am I
buddy.
going first?
Rough.
This is
Here
not
we
working
go.
as intended, y'all.
Ooh, combat is content, right?
Oh, boy. All right. The guards are going on initiative 10. Dane has a 14. And the apparent leader of this guard battalion is a Warforged who has essentially attached to his chest plate the sigil of House Cannith, the Gorgon bull's head of House Cannith, the House of Making. But he's apparently not very ready for combat because he has rolled a natural 1 on his initiative.
Yeah.
So
Trips and falls on his own sword.
he goes last. We are the big old 2. So as you come out, he steps forward, or the Warforged steps forward. They, I suppose, it's not particularly obvious what gender a Warforged prefers. They step forward, and its fist on its right hand withdraws into their arm, and a sword blade replaces it. And they look towards you, and they say, "Surrender, There is nowhere to go. And you see Dane begin to draw on the power of his mark again.
There's always somewhere to go. And most places seem to be better than here.
Dane sort of looks over his shoulder at you all and says, get to a skiff. Fight as you need to. But get to a skiff and get out the hangar door. Into the city and then run.
I pull the blade that I've been dragging behind me and hold it in front of me. I'm not running right now. There's somebody armed in front. Finally, something real to do with this training.
All right.
Because I don't know. Shade, can you wield a long sword?
I am proficient in martial weapons and simple weapons.
So yes.
Cool.
So Esri looks down. He's holding a wooden tree club in one hand and a long sword that he can't hardly lift in the other, and shoves the long sword hilt in your face.
I take it.
All right. So initiative begins. Ari, you get to make the first move.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. We're on a sky dock right now, correct?
Yeah, it is enclosed all around, and you can
Okay.
sort of imagine it as like a hangar bay.
So there's no
with a
knocking
big
anybody
door.
off this thing.
No, there is definitely an edge, but it's a ways away from where you are
Okay.
right now.
Well, darn. All right. Well then, Ari is going to step forward a little bit, and you see faint pink light begin to glow underneath his jet black hair as he steps up next to Dane and focuses on the Warforge standing there with the arm blade, and says, now, you're in between me and getting my feet back on the road. And ways I see it, you need to move. And I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers. So I need a wisdom saving throw.
Awesome. All right. His modifier is +2. And he has rolled an 18.
Well, fine.
Sorry.
On a successful save, nothing. Okay. Fine.
So yeah, you sort of reach out towards their mind, and the soldier sort of looks back at you, and their eyes focus, and they say, "You are not going anywhere." And it is now Dane's turn. So Dane rushes past you, unarmed, just his fists, and he is also going to rush the Warforged. And as he approaches, you see the arm is just pulsing with light. And lightning begins to crackle from around his fists, and he just slams one fist into this Warforged, and there's a just blast of lightning, and the Warforged sort of staggers back, electricity arcing over its primarily metal outer body. The way Warforged are constructed is usually metallic plates over an internal body that's usually made of more of wood and other materials, more flexible materials. But the outer plating is almost always metal and just arcing all over it as it staggers backwards from the attack. And wow, you all rolled so low.
Quick, Philip, he does take
Yo.
half damage on a successful save.
Oh,
I didn't
cool.
catch that.
So give me the half damage.
So 3d6, 7. So rounding down, 3
Yep.
damage.
3 damage.
So he does hear some
Okay.
creepy whispers in his head from Ari's mind.
Awesome. All right. So that's. So he jumps back and you see as the blades, as the electricity sort of arcs around their body, that where Dane's fist impacted, there is a distinct dent in the chest plate of this Warforged. It's now the guards' turn, and so they're going to move. There's 8 guards here in front of you. 3 of them rush in on Dane and attack him. One of them succeeds critically in their attacking of Dane, and so you see a spear sort of jam into Dane's thigh. Sorry, my pen is not cooperating. Then the others rush towards you. 2 of them rush towards Wog, as he looks the most obviously dangerous, and 1 towards each of the rest of you. So, Wog, you are attacked by 1 of them, but only for 8. So I assume that can't hit you. And the other, even worse. So this is like the training, right?
Everything's bouncing off of me.
Small, yeah, they're rushing towards you, and it's just sort of no. One
Sorry,
rushes-
do you know what to look at to see what it hits against?
That's against
armor
dexterity or
class.
strength?
Your
Armor
armor
class.
I think
class.
it's your armor class, yeah.
It's I'm a
be-
14, so yeah.
Yeah, it should be the shield right next to your initiative. Yes. So 1 is attacking Ari, and that was better roll plus 3, 16.
16 hits my 12 AC.
All right. Well, he rolled a 1 on his damage die, so you take 2 piercing damage.
Oh, don't have a whole lot of hit points, so that hits harder than you might think.
Ezri, a 17 and 2 piercing damage to you.
Mhm.
And Shade, a spear thrust for 14.
It's
And Shade is hit hard for 6 piercing damage.
Whoa.
Oof.
All right. So these guards are all around you, thrusting at you with spears, most of them in the livery of House Dinneth, but a couple are half-orcs in the livery of House Tharashk. So next up is Wog.
How far apart are these guys?
There are 2 right up on you, just within a few feet of you, and then the rest are sort of scattered to either side, but they're all fairly close. I assume you guys were kind of clustered in a group, so they're probably sort of arced around you a little bit.
Oh, they're arced around our party.
You tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you.
I want to cast Burning Hands.
Okay, you can definitely get 3 of them
Okay.
in the radius, in the area of Burning Hands. So this is a use of your mark. So tell us what happens when Wog uses his mark.
The side of his head, the right side that has that mark that normally sits in kind of a passive yellow, when he brings his hands together and the thumbs begin to touch, starts glowing with a bright, vibrant red out the side. And that starts to pulse as the cone, which is 15 feet wide, shoots out of flames from his hands.
Awesome. So they make
I
a
thought so.
dexterity saving throw. So to determine for you as a barbarian, to determine your mark's saving throw target number, what you need to do is you get to start it with 8, and then you add your proficiency bonus, which I think for everyone is 2, but which you can see right next to your attributes at the top of your page. And then you add your constitution modifier.
So I do constitution, not dexterity?
Yes, do your constitution modifier.
Okay, so that's +2. So 15 plus 2.
8. So it'd be 8 plus 2 for your proficiency, plus 2 for your constitution modifier. So they need to get a 12 in order to take half damage from your attack.
Okay.
So the first one has rolled only a 4, so no success for him. The second one has rolled a natural 17, so he is going to take half damage. And the third one has rolled a 9. So 2 of them are going to take the whole damage and one's going to take half. So go ahead and roll the dice for Burning Hands.
And this is I'm rolling 3d6 according
correct.
to my page here.
Mm-hmm.
2, 3. It's going well. And 2.
So 7.
7.
7. All right. So one of them takes half that, but 2 of them take the full damage. So yeah, you unleash your mark, and 3 of these guards sort of shrink back, crying out as flames just wreathe all around them. And the 2 that took the brunt of this just generally just fall back from you, trying desperately to pat out the places where their clothing is caught on fire, where their skin and hair is crackling and shriveled. Yeah, that messed these guys up. So Esri is next.
Refresh my visual. I have 2 guards.
You have 1 guard directly on you, but there are a total of 5 guards around your group, and then 3 of them are attacking Dane alongside the Warforged soldier.
All right. Does anyone know how to pronounce this? Shilalag?
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh. Okay. Oh, Shillelagh.
Shillelagh.
Lee. Okay.
Yeah, Shillelagh. It really only works if you try an accent.
Oh, all right.
You
Shillelagh.
got to be a bit Irish for a shillelagh.
I'm gonna cast Magic Stick with my bonus action.
Esri's magic stick.
Yes, Esri's stick of hitting on my club, and I'm gonna take a swing.
Awesome.
At this guy. That's a 21 to hit.
That will definitely hit the lowly CR-1/8 guard.
Seven damage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that. I assume you were attacking the one that was up on you, trying to stab you.
I swear I'm hitting the button. It's just because I'm switching screens. The one who stabbed me. That's who's getting magic sticked.
I assume. So I mean, this is nasty. I mean, you strike right across his face. His head whips around. You probably see a couple teeth come out, and he just sort of jerks back.
Nice.
Gross.
All right, and yeah.
Is there a reason for me to not try to just run?
No, not especially.
Okay,
You're not looking to capture the facility. Okay.
Right.
So you smack this guard, send him reeling, and then bolt for the nearest skiff. So the way these skiffs are, just since you are now running for one, these are, essentially rowboat sized They're meant for transport to and from the surface. They're made of soar wood, which is a lighter than air, or it's a wood that's been enchanted to be lighter than air. So they provide their own lift, and magical enchantments in them provide propulsion. They're one of many means of aerial transport in this world, and so you are familiar enough with this, especially having grown up in Sharn, that you almost certainly you have probably driven one of these. Like either you stole a sky cab in your adolescence on a dare or something like that. You know the basics of how to pilot this.
College Star had sky carriages.
Okay.
Right.
You say steal a sky cab like it's the most relatable high fantasy hijinks ever. Like, as you do.
As one does.
As you do.
What young teenager hasn't once upon a time stolen a sky cab and gone joyriding down through the cogs? Yeah. Anyway, next is Shade. Oh, that's so funny. Your initiative put you in the clockwise order on my screen that I have been calling.
Yeah,
on you in.
it's weird. It's weird.
I would like to destroy the one in front of me that hurt me.
Mhm.
I'm going to attempt to do that with my sword.
Go for
Stab it.
Sword him.
Just while she's doing that, what's going to be amazing is that my audio is going to not be muted in the recording. So it's just going to be me repeating myself repeatedly.
14.
14 hits.
I hit for 8.
8. Oh my gosh.
Dang.
You messed this guard up. It is not just an attempt. You said you were stabbing. You put the sword like through his, the side of his abdomen, and he sort of gasps in shock and looks down at this breach in the chainmail he's wearing. Okay, and do you have any bonus actions or movement you would like to use?
On your sheet, if you go to actions, there's a bonus actions section, so you can just quickly see the list of things that are available to you.
Thank you.
Hashtag not sponsored, but open.
I would like to shift.
Oh, nice. Tell us what this looks like. This is a special shifter thing. What does it look like for Shade?
So in her standard form, she just has a few details that emphasize the sort of beast appearance, but in the shift, there's the accentuating of the nose, there's the elongating of the teeth, and then the sort of raising of the fur.
Awesome.
And I get temporary 2 hit points.
Nice.
What animal do you look like?
A fox.
A fox. Okay, I wasn't
Nice.
sure if that was decided.
And are you moving or are you staying with the fight? You can see Ezri is running for a skiff.
I am not moving.
Okay. All right. And last, the Warforged.
Oh, right, that guy.
Battling Dane. Yes.
Oh, right, bosses.
So, they just bring their arm blade around and try to hack into Dane. But maybe not very well. They are not, bad guys are not rolling great. Sort of.
Just
We can
like
keep
we
that
like it.
going.
I didn't figure you guys minded. That is not going to hit. So we will try again and worse. So you see it. The the blade swing through the air, and Dane sort of brings a hand down, smashes through the shaft of the spear that's been stuck in his leg, and then turns and raises his marked arm. And you see the mark sort of flare, and the sword just stops a few inches away from him in the air, as if it had been caught by a shield. All right, back around to Ari.
Real quick, just so you all can get a full picture of what Ari is like as a fighter, I just noticed on his unarmed strike option on my character sheet that if Ari were to punch any of you in the face, he would deal 0 damage.
Yes.
So a quick update of the situation here. So about 20 feet from you, there is a cluster of guards around Dane. Right around you, there is another cluster of guards, several of whom are grievously injured, and only one of whom really looks like he's in the fight here. Most of you are still, 3 of you are still clustered together. Shade looks badly hurt, and Esri is running towards the nearest skiff, which is probably only about, with a move, he's almost on it. It's probably about 40 feet away.
Let me ask you. So my intention, I also have a use of Thunderwave at my disposal, thanks to my mark. Obviously flavored differently than Shade's, but is there an angle? How many could I catch in casting Thunderwave? Because I want to try to create separation between them and us, so that we can start beating feet without opportunity attacks. So
the way the situation is sitting right now, some of them have kind of staggered backwards from being horribly injured. I'm going to say you could actually probably get, you could get all of them.
Okay.
In the way it's situated right now.
Well, then I would love to do that. So I'm going to use
I invite you to try
the Thunderwave ability. And so, do I also use my Constitution modifier? Since
I intended you to use your spellcasting modifier.
Okay, so then it would be a DC 14.
Because needing multiple different stats for modifiers is just a little tiresome. Okay, so the first one succeeds. Second one fails. Third one fails. Fourth one fails. Fifth one fails. One of them has succeeded.
Wow. Can that one be one that's not up on anybody?
Sure.
So all of the ones that failed are getting pushed 10 feet back.
Okay.
And then we have 12 damage. So 6 to the one that succeeded and 12 to all the others.
All right.
As Ari gets stabbed by this guy and looks and sees the situation, sees Esri making a run for it, and understands that Dane's going to do what Dane's going to do. He's clearly trying to get us out of here. It's time to stop messing around. And anybody that would you see a faint ring of pink around the iris of Ari's eyes as he just closes his eyes and concentrates, and you see pink glow emanate from all the targets' heads as something whips them back as they go flying backwards. There's no big boom or anything. It's just literally whips them backwards.
All right.
Cool.
Without plumbing all the depths of horror that this could lead to, tell me what causes 4 of them to die. Because a guard at full strength has 11 hit points.
So, Ari has run into this problem before, and that's where the fear came from, of using his abilities in a way that he intended to not be lethal and just overloading somebody's mind to the point where it literally just shuts down. Okay. So I think it's not gruesome. It's not horrific. It's literally their brains turn off.
Wow.
That's pretty horrific.
Yeah. So they sort of
Whoa.
jerk back, and one of them just sort of crouches down, grasping his head and gasping. The other four, just without sound, just sort of are tossed backwards and lie still.
And Ari looks over his shoulder at Shade and Wog and said, "Time to hit the road." And Ari takes off following Ezri.
But you got 4.
Well, we'll find some more on the ground. Let's go.
So the guard that's still up on his feet, as it were, near you, is not attacking anymore. He is at 2 hit points, and if someone reduced me to 2 hit points, I'm not fighting you anymore. He's just grasping his head in horrible pain. The 3 around Dane, however, are continuing to go after him. And Dane is now bleeding from several wounds as he is surrounded. And you can see him keep sort of these flailing back and forth and using all sorts of magic to hold these guys off, shouting for you to get to a skiff. Wog.
I hate to think about leaving this person who's like my aspirational goal. Is this like a left or right? I have to choose a direction, either go help Dane or I have to run.
I mean, you can't run to the skiff while also helping Dane. You could try to help Dane and potentially still have the opportunity to make it for the skiff. This is not a fixed circumstance, right?
Right.
But Dane has a certain number of hit points. The guards have a certain number of hit points. The Warforged has a certain number of hit points, and you have a certain number of feet you can travel.
This is true. I also have a certain number of hit points. Just because those haven't been taken yet doesn't mean that I'm.
So is Dane in the same direction as the skiff, or are we running the opposite direction?
Dane you're kind of moving like 45 degrees to Dane.
Okay.
You're abandoning him.
I don't know this guy. He's a story. He's a fairy tale.
Yeah, I'm gonna grunt in frustration with like a growl and disengage to go after my friends.
All right. Let me ask it this way. Is anyone not running for the skiff? I guess Shade is the only one. Shade's going for the skiff too?
Well, the one in front of me was taken care of, so.
That's very true.
I'm sorry? You sound disappointed?
All right, so
I told y'all, if they have brains, I can be efficient.
I missed the wood.
You all race for the skiff and leap in. Ezri gets there first, so I'm assuming Ezri grabs the controls. And essentially, at the back of the skiff, there's a spot where the pilot stands, and there is I don't know, like the base you would have on like a lectern, but on the top of it, rather than like a space for a book or something, there is a series of dragon shards arranged on the top of the pillar. And you know that by manipulating your fingers along these dragon shards, you control the ship. So you leap aboard, the ship lifts slightly off the ground, and going.
Am I still in range of Dane?
It would depend on what you're trying to do.
Drive-by pickup?
I suppose that's true. Well, no, I didn't.
You are
sort of
at this
assumed that
point.
wasn't possible.
You're about 40. You're about 30 feet from Dane, probably.
Okay.
Wog's probably strong enough to where you could grab him as we drove by.
I'm going for it if we can. I'm gonna reach down.
Okay. If I'm being instructed to drive towards him, I will try.
Okay. Make a well, hang on, let me see where Dane is on. Okay.
Philip
Make
just comes back.
a-
Dane's dead. So you grab a corpse.
Make a dexterity check for piloting this
Just a
vessel.
dexterity check.
Now, you said I know how to fly this thing. Can I
Mhm.
get a proficiency on this?
Due to the misspent youth of having stolen sky cabs, as we previously discussed.
Do you have a tool or some kind of proficiency you would like to exchange for proficiency in air vehicles?
Ooh. That character you so carefully crafted, would you like to completely change it for this one moment in the very beginning of our
I
campaign?
mean, air vehicles are not a absent thing in this world, so
Yeah, it would be a very useful thing to have.
I'm good with my kits.
Okay.
That's fine.
then it's just a dexterity check. So here's sort of my approach to roles like this. You know how to drive a car in the same way that I know how to drive a car. I could not successfully navigate a car chase. So you know how to drive this vessel.
Not with that can't do attitude, you couldn't.
But you don't necessarily know how to drive this vessel aggressively.
Well, I know how to drive it for a 15.
Hey, okay. So the goal is to try and do a drive-by and hope that Wog can grab Dane, right?
Gulp.
As I understand it.
Okay. So the vessel rises, you pivot it around and direct it towards the combat. Wog. I need a dexterity check from you as well to grab, to like snatch Dane. Strength is going to be involved in like hauling him up, but to make the grab is definitely an act of dexterity.
And I'm rolling a d20 here.
You're rolling a d20 and you're adding the modifier for your dexterity.
You won't believe me,
I will believe you.
but I just rolled a nat 20. So that gives me 22 with my +2 dexterity.
Outstanding.
I will absolutely grab camera.
I believe you. I assume I would not have invited
laugh at
anyone
the
to
fact
play
that I'm
with me
rolling
that
my
I
dice
thought was
and
going to lie to me about something as silly as dice rolls.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
I don't want to pick that dice up.
Just frame
It's
it.
as good as it's going to get. I'm glad I got another one.
You sort of lean over the edge and just catch Dane by the back of his jerkin or whatever he's wearing and just haul him off his feet as the ship goes by. Now, in fairness,
Oh man,
some
I'm
attacks
going
of
to drop him
opportunities are
off
now
the
going to
edge.
occur.
Oh no.
Oh, boy.
No.
I just
all
killed
gonna
Dane.
Pinata him.
Oh man.
Miss.
Keep
miss,
rolling bad.
Hit. Okay, so you
might have had a chance down there.
you take 5 piercing as a spear jabs
Ooh.
into your arm.
Oh, it's not him, it's you.
No, this is way worse.
The Warforged swings and gouges the ship with this arm blade, and you feel the ship sort of leer, or I guess it's list in ship terms, list to one side as you make the turn.
I took 6, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Told y'all this was a bad idea.
No, you didn't.
All right. Is anyone attempting to do anything other than stay on the ship, other than, of course, Esri, who is driving the ship, and Wog, who is trying to haul Dane into the ship?
Just leaving a trail of blood dropping out of the sky behind us. They're gonna know where we went.
You're saying this is requiring my full attention.
Yes,
Sorry.
the driving of the vessel will require your attention. Is anyone else doing anything as the ship goes, or is everyone just holding on?
Being in the ship at this
If there-
go ahead.
If there was something helpful that I could do, I would be doing it.
Put pressure
but
right
I don't
here.
have.
Pressure right here would be awesome. That would
Oh,
be
you're
so
fine. I'm
helpful.
talking about the ship that we're in the sky right now.
There's not really anything you can do about the damage to the ship at the moment.
Okay.
Ari?
Now that the adrenaline is worn off and he's in the ship, he has become pretty shaken by what he just did. Ari doesn't seem to be in the best way, but it's one of those, like, he's not trying to show it overtly, like he's not like head in hands, like freaking out, but you all can tell that he's pretty shaken up. So
Okay.
And so he is not doing anything.
Fair enough. Okay, so I need another dexterity check from Esri. Remember, you can push yourself to take a reroll. I know you don't have a ton of hit points, but can spend them on that.
That devious grin out of Philip right there. This is a side of him
11
I've
gonna
never
do
known.
for me?
11 is you're not crashing the ship. You're keeping the ship on a course towards the exit right now. You're not gaining a whole lot of speed. You're noticing that the ship is not responding to your desire for elevation very effectively right now.
Okay.
And that from Wog's perspective, there are moments where Dane's feet are like kicking along the floor of the hangar and occasionally the ship kind of goes. Wog, give me a strength check. I will allow athletics, which I think you are proficient in. You should
In the
see
ship
your
would be
skills.
better.
Yeah, you should see your skills in a big long column in the middle of your sheet.
Athletics is a +5.
Awesome, that's good. Give me a roll with athletics.
15.
15. Okay, so you manage to, Dane takes another couple kicking steps as the ship bounces and then throws himself up, and you manage to haul him up into the ship. All right, so the guards are, scattered, and you can see the HeroForge shouting orders. Esri, give me another piloting check of dexterity. You are approaching the exit.
And like Star Wars terms, we now have to turn on our side and hold on to make it through.
No, it's not quite like that, although the top is now starting to close down.
Oh, cool.
That's a 4. So sure, let's put this mechanism to.
Oh, you're gonna push?
All right.
Do I take
You're
2
our
damage?
first
Two
roll
damage.
and
Two
our
damage.
first push.
$14.
Okay, so it's dragging, like it's literally the bottom of it is dragging. Those of you who are not busy piloting, you look back and you can see like chunks behind you on the ground. As this vessel drags, you see the so a skiff usually has, as it lifts off, sort of unfolds a sail along the back bottom that's like a fin for maneuvering, and it's usually got a couple of essentially wing sails off the sides, and you see a pretty large chunk of that maneuvering fin lying on the hangar floor behind you after one of the bounces. The door is coming down, and Wog has to duck as the vessel goes under and out into the sky and promptly begins to lose altitude real fast. So this thing is sort of spiraling around towards the ground of the massive city of Korth below you.
Pull up.
So,
pull up.
Ezra, I need a check for a crash landing.
Nice.
Me again?
Yep.
Wonderful. Just so everyone here knows, Dex is not my thing. However, that is a natural 20.
All right, describe this outstanding landing that you make. In fact,
Tell
it's
us how
so
it happened,
excellent
Sully.
that no one has to make a saving throw to not be thrown in the lake.
Hey.
Which is great because I'm bleeding out still.
So what are we descending towards?
You're descending towards a big city. Stone buildings, streets, alleys, that kind of thing. A big, giant urban sprawl.
Super low profile.
Beneath the town.
I mean, this is not skill.
Mhm.
This is, as the roll was, complete luck. It is just the needed bounces off of one roof, crashing another ship, like that sort of corrects the course, and then just kind of coming to a spin, landing on the ground. Just abject luck.
So you pull yourselves out off of the vessel, and Dane sort of stands up, stretches, sweat mopping his forehead, injury on his leg. Thank you, he says, looking at you all.
Why us?
It wasn't just you. The whole team was scattered throughout up there, trying to intercept pods before they did it.
Did what?
What?
Before they did what?
They're liquidating the program.
They're making them
Like-
water?
Juicing?
What?
We were useful to them. Now, I mean, you know, a lot of your classmates were kidnapped, right? Were just
Yes.
taken off the streets. Not most, maybe, didn't come voluntarily. During the war, no one's paying attention to that sort of thing. Houses kind of run roughshod. Now, peace conference on, all the nations meeting at Thronehold. No influence in that for the dragon-marked houses. Eventually, someone's going to ask questions. This whole program violates the Korth edicts against the houses operating a military. Your evidence,
Did Soren know?
of course.
All right.
This is fascinating. Is there a second step to this plan?
I just
or-
dropped my head back. Ugh.
You need to disappear. Go where you like. Stay together or not, but you need to disappear.
Well, I can do that.
I can't. What do you mean
Yeah, you
disappear?
We'll hit the road. Keep moving.
Oh, this is it. This is the adventure. Oh, good start. Good start.
I'm gonna hold my staff out, and where is it? I'm gonna cast Goodberry and just I'm gonna hold my staff out to him, and starts to grow little mushrooms, and they sort of start off into in front of you. And I'm gonna say, eat those; they'll make you feel a little better.
Growing up in the marches, this is probably
am
not strange
allergic.
to you.
What?
What will you do? Where are you going to go?
My team's out there. I'll rendezvous with them. See what we can do.
Wouldn't there be some strength in numbers? Like all the members of your team have pods like us.
Maybe. I need to know who got out. I need to know what happened to Thora.
We're ready to take orders. We're not ready to make decisions.
I'm going back in there. I can't ask you to do that.
I'll make the decision not to do that.
All right.
I mean, you could ask, but
Better if you didn't. Let's end this as friends.
You saved my life. You put me in a much better position. I can refit. Maybe some others got out. I can't.
and
I can't just run with them back there.
realizing this, Ezri's gonna slap. Sorry, I'm still getting my head around
That's fine.
this. Wog's hands away from the mushrooms and gather them up and hand them to Dan instead.
Dane kind of chuckles and begins munching on them, kind of like potato chips. He didn't even question it.
They were just gonna kill us?
Your evidence.
Ain't surprising.
Who doesn't want us dead?
It is not surprising. Of course they wanted to kill us.
Most anybody doesn't want us dead. Just the Dragon Mark houses and their ilk. We avoid them, we'll be fine.
Houses are influential. They've guided opinion about you, about me.
We crashed into the city proper, right?
Yeah, I'm allowing that you probably crashed in a back alley or something like that.
I'm just asking because I'm taking my ponytail down and I'm covering the side of my head with my hair.
Yes, that's probably wise.
At this first mention of that, I'm hiding my mark.
I would like to shift back from I don't remember what it's called.
Shifting back, that's fine.
So I'm guessing we wouldn't have any currency on us, would we? I mean, I don't imagine we would have much need for it in there.
You probably not. Probably the equipment you have is staff, couple swords.
So then Ari asks Dane, and I'm more than happy to make any requisite check. If you have anything to get us going, I know what supplies we'll need, and I can find decent deals, but we literally have nothing to go on. If you have anything on you that can help, I will pay it back tripled when our paths cross again.
He reaches in under his jerkin and pulls out a little folded leather wallet kind of thing, and hands it to you, and you can feel that it's heavy in an off balance kind of way. And when you flip it over, you can see that it's a bunch of silver and gold war commendations pinned to this strip of leather. I was never going to get to wear them.
Thank you. I hope our paths cross again.
Good luck.
Lean over to Wog.
May the road ever be kind to your souls.
Pawn them?
Nope.
I don't know. We're gonna ask Ari after this. They're having a moment.
Ari says, "May the road ever be kind upon your souls," which is, I'm deciding, a phrase from his culture.
Outstanding. Love it.
And Ari turns to the rest of them and says, I'm assuming we're in some kind of uniform or training clothes.
You're probably in some kind of identifiable clothing, yeah.
Ari says, all right, well, we need, and he tears a couple of the silver commendations. We're going to need new change of clothes, traveling clothes, and hands some to Ezri, and just goes into like, he's been in this position before. He's needed to get out of town quickly, and so starts divvying up gold for food, traveling supplies, clothes, and yeah, just starts making a plan.
All right. Dane nods to you all and turns, goes down to the end of the alley, looks left, looks right.
Dane,
Wog.
did I do good?
You did great. And disappears into the street. And that is where we will call an end to our session. Hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. I've had a blast playing you guys. Hope you guys had fun. Hope that if those of you watching enjoyed this, you'll give us another try when we release another set of episodes later on. So in the meantime, Eric, marketing.
We do have a Twitter and an Instagram at the Geek Pantheon. If you would like to be part of the conversation surrounding this new video series, we do have a Discord. You can find the link down below and join all of our wonderful community members over there. We also have a Facebook group that you can search for the Geek Pantheon on. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/the Geek Pantheon. If you want to join our wonderful community of patrons, find a tier that is right for you to help support this show and all the other stuff that we are doing at the Geek Pantheon. Links for everything down there. And while you're headed down there, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button. And yeah, that's everything, I believe. Oh, twitch.tv/the Geek Pantheon. Stream every Sunday and Tuesday at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 7 a.m. I don't know why, but I do.
And Colin.
I am on Twitter and Instagram, SorryBTR, and I am at twitch.tv/SorryBTR. The O is a 0.
All right. Well, thank you all again for watching. I have been your Dungeon Master, Philip, and I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.